All praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kadash, Tawada, Amen. Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai. Alright, let's get this now. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the feast days, Sabbath. We're going to be talking about the Hebrew calendar, the new moon, and how they all interact with each other, how all the dots connect basically. So recently we've had a lot of people speaking about, oh, the Sabbath is on Friday to Saturday. And if you ask them, show me the word Friday or Saturday in the scriptures, they can't show you. But yet they continue to celebrate the Sabbath on a Friday, Saturday. You explain to them that for you to be doing that Friday to Saturday, doing the Sabbath, you're working off of the Georgian calendar. Yeah, which prior to that, it was called the Julian calendar because it's named after Julian Caesar. He was the one that brought in the Julian calendar. And prior to the Julian calendar, you had the Roman calendar. Now, the Roman calendar had 8 and 9 day weeks, was based on 8 and 9 day weeks. And so was the Julian calendar, originally based on 8 and 9 day weeks before it changed to 7 day weeks. Yeah. And then after the Julian calendar, you had the Georgian calendar, which came from Pope Georgia, I think the 7th or 8th, whatever his name was, that was from him, that he was the one that pushed that from the Catholic Church, basically. So you got people celebrating the Sabbath on a Friday, Saturday. The word Friday is not in the Bible. The word Saturday is not in the Bible because the Israelites did not follow the Julian calendar, which Julius Caesar put in. The Israelites did not follow the Georgian calendar. The Catholic Church did push it out there, but it was not part of our customs. We did not follow the Roman calendar, which was prior to the Julian calendar. Yeah, the calendar that we use was always based on the new moon, nothing else. Yeah, so for people today to actually try to put it out there to say that it's okay to do the Sabbath on a Friday to Saturday, it's going against what the scripture says. Yeah, once again, that is men following his own words, just like the scripture says in Acts that we should follow the words of the Most High and not of men. Yeah, and that's men teaching other men to follow the word of men, not the word of the scriptures, because in the Bible, in the Holy Bible, there is no January, February, March, April, May, June, July. There is no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay? So for people to keep proclaiming that they're following the high holy days of the scriptures, the high holy days of the festival, of the feast, and the Sabbath, which is a high holy day, according to this Georgian calendar that the majority of the world uses, they're going against what the scriptures saying. Now, if you really want to know when you should be celebrating the Sabbath, we will show you in this edification. I'm going to show you exactly when we should be following the Sabbath, because we're doing it according to what the Most High says, not according to what we say, or what suits our lifestyle or our work environment or family environment or whatever they want to call it. We do it according to the scriptures. We deal with the Sabbath day according to when the scripture says, because our calendar was always based on a lunar calendar. So where we're going to start here, Genesis chapter 1 verse 14. So we're going to go right back to the beginning. Right? So it says, and the powers Elohim, and right, said, let there be light in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and to let them be signs for seasons and for days and for years. Right? So they said, let there be light in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs for seasons and for days and for years. And let there be light in the firmament of the heaven to give you light upon the earth as it so was. Yeah? And the powers, Elohim, made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made stars also. So what is the greater light? The greater light is what? The sun. Nothing's more brighter than the sun, except the eyes of the Most High. Because remember, his eyes are 10 times, 1,000 more brighter than the sun. Yeah? Hence why no one can't look him in the face. All right? And what is the lesser light? The lesser light is the moon. Now, I'm sure from those 3 verses, you'll understand that. The first verse tells you that the Most High said and Elohim, the powers, said, let there be light in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night. And let it be signs for what? For seasons and for days and for years. All right? So we're meant to use the light in the sky, the 2 lights in the sky, to work out the seasons, the days and the years. All right? Just like our Most High set it. He didn't set a calendar and said, here you go, work off of this calendar. Here is January, here's February, here's March, here's April, here's May, here's June. No, he didn't say work off of these days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No, he says use the lights in the skies that he has formed, the light that divides the day from the night, and let there be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. That's what we should be using. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and it was so. And the powers made 2 great lights. They made 2 great lights. The greater light to rule the day, which is the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night, yeah, which is the stars. All right. So let's go. Let's start with Leviticus 23. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye be come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then you shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of the harvest unto the priest. Yeah? So the sheaf of the first fruits represents what? The new moon, the first day of the month. And it shall be, and it shall wave the sheaf before Yahweh to be accepted for you on the morrow after the Sabbath. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it. All right? And ye shall offer that day. Okay, let's go back up a bit. I didn't want to start that far down. Oops, I'll stop this. Sorry. Let me go back up again, please. 23. Let's go back up a bit. I want to start really at the top. Come on. Yeah. We know that. Come on, that was me being stupid. Let me start a bit up a bit first, yeah? And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feast of Yahweh, yeah, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feast. Right, so let's look at what holy convocations are first, right? Which are going to be holy convocations, right? We know holy, Kodesh, means sacred, right? Convocation, convoking, reading, a calling together, sacred assembly, convoking, reading, right? So it's showing you something called out, i.e. public meetings, persons or place, rehearsals, assembly, a calling, and convocation, a reading. Yeah? So, let's go back. Holy convocations, and even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest, and holy convocation. Yeah, just like we just showed you. Yeah, a gathering, assembling, reading together. People do it in their own homes because you do the Sabbath by doing it in your own homes amongst your family. No work, no cooking. Everything you're meant to be doing on that day must meant to be in honor of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, for the Most High, yeah, and the Son. It says, ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of Yahweh in all your dwellings. Right? So, these are the feasts of Yahweh, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. Right? In the 14th day of the first month at evening is the Lord's Passover. Right. So it didn't say in the 14th day of January at evening is the Lord's Passover. It says in the 14th day of the first month. Now, if you're going by January, February, March, April, May, you're using a Julian calendar that was changed over to the Georgian calendar in the 16th century. Yeah. That's when it changed, about 500 years ago, yeah? And then it was a Julian calendar before that. For 1500 years, they were using the Julian calendar. And then prior to that, they was using the Roman calendar. All right. So it says on the 14th day of the first month at evening is the Lord's Passover. Right. So if we go back up, it says, these are the feasts of Yahweh, every holy convocation, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. So let's go back to Genesis again and see what Genesis says to us. It says, and the powers said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. Right? This is what it's telling you. And let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven, to give light upon the earth. And so it was. And the Most High made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. So we know that's the sun and the moon, and also the stars represent all the other planets, right? So he did them for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. So what does it say in Leviticus? It says, speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them concerning the feast, which are the high holy days of Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be a holy convocations. Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest, a holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein, and the Sabbath of Yahweh in all your dwellings. These are the feasts of Yahweh, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. So, how did the children of Israel know what was the 14th day of the month? What was the first day of the month? What was the 7th day of the month? And so forth. How would they know when to celebrate Passover? How would they know when to celebrate the Sabbath? And how would they know when to celebrate all the other high holy days if they didn't have a calendar? How would they know? Because it was based on the new moon. The exact same thing that you see in Genesis 1, where the Most High says he created the two lights in the firmament, one for the day, one for the night, and he created them for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. All right, that's what they can be used. That's what they can be used for. All right. So the only way that they know that the 6th day, when the 6th day is, or when the 7th, when the Sabbath is, when the Passover is, when the first month is, and so forth, and that was based on the new moon. So we're gonna go here. Ecclesiastes chapter 43, verse 1. He made the moon also to serve in her seasons, which we've just read in Genesis 1, yeah? For a declaration of times and a sign of the world. From the moon is the sign of the feast. The feasts are the high holy days. A light that decreases in her perfection. The month is called after her name. You hear that? Because that's where the word month comes from, moon. Increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven, the beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars, an ornament giving light in the highest places of the Lord. Yeah. At the commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in their order and never faint in their watches. All right. So it's telling you right here, the moon serves in her seasons for a dedication of the time, the sign of the world. From the moon is the sign of the feast. What are the feasts? Let's find out what the feasts are. So these are you listening carefully? The feast of Yahweh, even holy convocations, when ye shall proclaim in their seasons. In the 14th day of the first month at evening is Yahweh's Passover. So there's your first feast. Yeah. And at the 15th day of the same month is what? The feast of unleavened bread. Because you spend the next 7 days eating unleavened bread. Yeah. You have the Passover where you have your unleavened bread, your wine, your bitter herbs. Yeah. You read that your prayers to the Most High. You give your praise and blessings to the Most High. And then you have your lamb as well. Your unblemished lamb, which we can't get today, as you know, but you'd have back then. You'd have your unblemished lamb, no spots, marks on it, and that will be cooked on the fire, yeah, and that will be the Passover, right? So it shows you right there. So it says, and on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread. So then the next 7 days you're eating unleavened bread, and the other foods that you can eat according to the scriptures. Basically, that, you know, like for instance, you know, like your fish, you don't eat no sea bottom foods, you know, nothing with fins or scales. It's got to have fins or scales to eat it. You don't eat the pig. You know, you eat the foods that the Lord says you can eat that are good for you over the next 7 days. You can have nothing with leaven in your house and so forth. No, nothing that's got leaven in it. No bread. Nothing that's used to rise the, you know, any kind of products that has leaven in it, or self-raising flour, anything that leavens bread, or any kind of thing like biscuits and so forth. You remove them from your house, all right? Because it's the feast of unleavened bread. So on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto Yahweh. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. Yeah. In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. Right? But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. 7 days. In the 7th day in a holy convocation ye shall do no servile work therein. Right? In the 7th day. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye come into the land which I give unto you, and ye shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the firstfruits of your harvest into the priest, and ye shall wave the sheaf before Yahweh to be accepted for you on the morrow for the Sabbath, and the priest shall after the Sabbath the priest shall wave it. And ye shall offer that day, when ye shall wave the sheaf and he lamb without blemish for the first year, for a burnt offering unto Yahweh. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deals of flour mingled with oil, and offering made by fire unto Yahweh for a sweet savour. And the drink offering therefore shall be of wine, and the fourth part of a hin. And ye shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering unto Yahweh. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in your dwellings. Right? And you shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye have brought the sheaf of the wave offering. 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall you number 50 days, right? And ye shall offer a new meat offering unto Yahweh. Ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 10 deals of 2/10 deals. Then shall be of fine flour. There shall be bacon and bacon with leaven, and they are the first fruits unto Yahweh. All right. So it's going through all the feasts that you should be doing, right? And if you go down more, it says, and Moses spoke to Israel, saying, speaking to Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall you have a Sabbath. Yes, in the 7th month, in the first day of the month, right, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing trumpets, a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made on fire unto Yahweh. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, also on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement, which is fasting. It shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made unto Yahweh. And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before Yahweh. For whosoever soul it shall be that shall be afflicted in that same day, shall cut off among you. All right. So in Leviticus 23, basically, it goes through all of the feasts that we should be doing to the Most High. It says, look, speak unto Israel, saying, on the 15th day of the 7th month shall be the feast of tabernacles for 7 days unto Yahweh. On the first day shall be an holy convocation, and ye shall do no servile work. 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And on the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work. These are the feast of Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice and a drink offering, even everything upon these days, right? So, beside the Sabbath of Yahweh, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings, which ye shall give unto Yahweh. And also on the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto Yahweh 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath, right? And ye shall take with you on the first day the boughs of your goodly trees, branches, and so forth. So it's going through all the feasts of Yahweh. So this is what it says, that these are the feasts. Let's go back here. These are the feasts of the Lord Yahweh, which shall proclaim to be a holy convocation. So if you want to know the different feasts and high holy days that you should be giving, celebrating and presenting to the Most High, Leviticus 23 explains them and breaks them, what the feast and holy high days are. So now we have to work out when we're meant to do it. So when it says to you here, it says, when it says, if we go up a few, it says, look, it says, speak unto Israel, saying, on the 15th day of the 7th month shall be the feast of tabernacles of 7th day. So how do we know when it is the 15th day of the 7th month? All based on the new moon. So we go back to Ecclesiastes. He made the moon also to serve in her seasons, for a declaration of times and the signs of the world. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreases in her perfection. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. Right? So from the moon is the sign of the feast. So from the moon is the sign of the feast. So what moon are we talking about? It's the new moon. So if we go to Hebrew calendar, the Hebrew or Jewish calendar is a lunar solar calendar. All right? A lunar solar calendar is a calendar in many cultures whose dates indicates both the moon phases and the time of the solar year. If the solar year is defined as a tropical year, then a lunar solar calendar will give an indication of the season. If it is taken as a sidereal year, then the calendar will predict the constellation. All right? So it's a lunar calendar used today predominantly for, it says, Jewish religious observances. It determines the dates for Jewish holidays, or Jewish feasts, should we say, right? Israelite feasts, and the appropriate public reading of the Torah and so forth, right? And daily Psalms reading and many ceremony uses in Israel. It is used for religious purposes to provide a time frame for agriculture, and is an official calendar for civil purposes, although the latter usage has been steadily descending in favor of the Georgian calendars, which we use today. All right? So we use the lunar solar calendar, which is based on the new moon, right? It's totally based on the new moon. So if we go to, where are we? Sabbath is a day aside for the rest and worship. According to Exodus, Sabbath is a day of rest on the 7th day, commanded by the Most High to be kept as a holy day of rest. As the Most High rested from this creation, it observed differently among the Abrahamic religions and informs a similar occasion in several other practices. Although many viewpoints and definitions have arisen over the millennium, most originate in the same textual tradition. Yeah, remember the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. All right. So we use a lunar solar calendar. The lunar solar calendar is based on the new moon, because that's exactly what every calendar should be based on, the new moon. Not the Georgian, not the Julian, not the Roman or any other calendar. It should all be based on the new moon, which is roughly between 28 and a half and 30 days a year. Each cycle does, yeah? Or 28 and a half, 29 and a half days a year. All right? So we know that's the calendar we're supposed to be using, right? It says the Jewish day is no fixed length. The Jewish day is moderate to a reference. There was evening and there was morning, right? Absolutely. In the creation and account of the first chapter of Genesis, based on classic interpretation of the text, a day in a rabbinic Hebrew calendar runs from sunset, start of the evening, to the next sunset, all right? Same thing with the lunar moon, from sunset to sunset, because that's when the Sabbath is, from sunset to sunset, right? That's how the days run, okay? And days and hours on the calendar. So we're going to go to here. We're going to go to the Roman calendar. Was a calendar used by the Roman kingdom and the republic. It is often inclusive of the Julian calendar established by the reforms of the dictator Julius Caesar and Emperor Augustus in the late 1st century, and sometimes inclusive of any system dated by inclusive counting tools, months, and which is calend. That's where the word calendar comes from. The word calendar comes from that word there, calends. Nones, I think that's weeks. The Roman calendar used by the Roman Kingdom and Republic is often inclusive of the Julian calendar established, okay. And Idis. Okay. In the Roman manner, it is usually exclusive of the Alexandria calendar of Roman Egypt, which continued the unique months of the land's former calendar, the Byzantine calendar of the late Roman Empire, which actually dated the Roman months in the simple count of the ancient Greek calendars, and the Georgian calendar, which refined the Julian system to bring it into still closer alignment with the solar year, and is the basis of the current international standard, which is the Julian calendar. All right. So the Roman calendar had what, 10 months in it. All right. The Roman calendar was described the first organized year as one of 10 fixed months, each with 30 to 31 days. Right, not based on the new moon. Such a decimal division, if general Roman practices, the 4 31-day months were called full and the others hollow. Its 304 days made up exactly 38 nundical cycles, right? The system is usually said to have let the remaining 50 odd days, so the remaining 50 odd days of the year, right, as an unorganized winter, right? Although Licinius Macer's lost history apparently stated the earliest Roman calendar employed intercession instead, and Macrobius claims the 10-month calendar, right? So this is the original calendar, 10 months, right? Was allowed to shift until the summer and winter months were completely misplaced, at which time additional days belonging to the months were simply inserted into the calendar until it seems things were restored to their proper place. So later Roman writers credited the calendar to Romulus, the legendary first king. As you know, Romulus was a black man. It wasn't a Caucasian, because the Caucasians hadn't become the Romans yet. Yeah. Although this was common with one practice and traditions where origins have been lost to them, some scholars doubt the existence of the calendar, as it is all only attested in the late Republican and Imperial sources, apparently supported only by misplaced names of the months from September to December, right? To find the coincidence of the length of the supposed Romulan year with the length of the calendar. So this is what it would have been based on: March, April, May, June, Quintus, Sextius, September, October, November, December. Those were the 10 months, right, that they had. That was their calendar, all right? So it will show you here. Go down to here. This is what it changed. They added X 2 months to it. Yeah, January and February were added to the calendar, and this is where it changed to 12 months, the Roman calendar. Yeah, they added January and February to it. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 months. As a matter of fact, they got 1 day considering month, 23 days, right? This is the Roman calendar. We did not follow these calendars. My point I'm trying to show you, their calendars have changed several times over the centuries, yeah, over the millenniums, yeah. We never used their calendars. Their weeks were based on 8 and 9 days. And I think we'll tell you here, it says Roman dates were counted inclusively forward to the next one of these 3 principal days within each month, yeah. So I don't know if it shows you here. The days had 8 and 9. Their weeks had 8 and 9 days in it. Okay, look. The Nundinane were the market days, which formed a kind of weekend. That's what they called their weekends in Rome. So this is what they kind of call their weekends. Sometimes anglicized to Nundines, were the market days of the ancient Roman Empire, following a period of a weekend, including for a certain period rest from work. Yeah. Anyway, it says, and some other parts of Roman territory, Roman inclusive counting, they were reckoned as 9th days, although they actually occurred every 8th day. All right. So count is actually to find a number of elements. Okay, yeah. Right. So their weeks were based on, they were reckoned as 9th day, 9 days, although they were actually, some of them occurred every 8th day. All right. Because Republican and Julian years were not evenly divisible into 8-day periods. Right. So some will be 9 and some will be 8 days. That's what their weeks were based on. Right. And we know a week, an Israelite week is 7 days. 6 days we work, 7 days we rest. Boom. 6 days we work, 7 days we rest. Every 7 days is the Sabbath. Yeah. So we did not follow those calendars then. So we should not be following those calendars now to celebrate the holy high days. We should be finding out when's the first new moon, yeah, when it comes about of the year. And then from that point onwards, you count each month, new moon to new moon. And then you'll know when your Sabbath is, when the high holy days are, when the Passover is, when the Feast of Tabernacles is, when the blowing of the trumpets is, when Purim is, when the Day of Atonement is. You'll know exactly to a point when these days are based on the new moon calendar in wherever you live. Because obviously you have to follow the new moon calendar in wherever you are to know when these days are. All right? So, let's go back to... the Sabbath is the seventh day of each week, which was a sacred festival on which the Israelites were required to abstain from all work. The institution of the Sabbath, the law for keeping holy every seventh day of the week. A single Sabbath day, 7 days a week. Okay? So, it's the seventh day of Sabbath we notice of the week. Alright? Just so you understand. So we can close that for now. Right, so let's go back to here. So we go back to Ecclesiastics. It says, from the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreases in her perfection. So we know the moon is the sign of the feast. So based on the new moon, we'll know when the feast days are. So in Leviticus, it tells you right here, these are the feasts of Yahweh which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to other offerings made by fire unto Yahweh, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice, a drink offering, and everything upon this day. So we go back up to verse 1. It says, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. 6 days shall you work, seventh day is the seventh day of rest. Holy convocation shall be unto the Lord therein, and it shall be a Sabbath for Yahweh. These are the feasts of Yahweh, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in her seasons. In the 14th day of the first month at evening is Yahweh's Passover. So let's go to 2 Colossians. Colossians 2, chapter 2, verse 16. It says, let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of an holy day or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days, right? Because even in the New Testament, they know all of the holy days, the high holy days were based on the new moon. That's why it says, let no man therefore judge you in meat, yeah, or in drink or in respect of any holy day or of the new moon, which represents the first day of the month, or of the Sabbath days. Yeah, every seventh day is a Sabbath based on the new moon. All right. So we're going to go to Psalms. See what it says in Psalms. He appointed the moon, are you listening, for seasons. The sun knoweth he's going down, right? So he appointed the moon for seasons. Yeah, so we know the different seasons of the year, spring, autumn, summer, winter, yeah, and for the feast days. So when we go back to Genesis, it says, and the Most High said, let there be light in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, right? And for seasons, right? And for days and for years. That's how you know what the days and the years are. And let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And Elohim made two great lights. The greater light to rule the day, the sun, and the less light to rule the night. So, we've just gone from Psalms 10. What did he say? He appointed the moon for seasons and the sun know if he's going down. Absolutely. Right, so Isaiah 66 verse 23. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, says Yahweh. So from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, because the only way you know when the Sabbath is based on the new moon, right? Shall all flesh do what? Come to worship before me, says Yahweh. Now this is what's going to happen after the judgment, all right? And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorrent unto all flesh. Because I said this is to do with after the destruction, that Yahweh is letting you know that It shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, because that's how all the days and the years and the weeks are going to be counted, and from one Sabbath to another, which is all based on the new moon, shall all flesh come to worship before me, says Jehovah. Because on the Sabbath day, the whole world is going to have to rest. Those that are in captivity, right, and the captives, all going to have to rest. And the new moon will be based on that rest day, and that new moon will be based on the new moon when it appears over what? The Holy Land in Israel. It will be based on the new moon when it appears over the Holy Land in Israel. When you see the first sliver of the moon for the month, that is a new moon. That's what they call a new moon. That's the first day of the month. So when you see the moon disappear and you see the first sliver, that's when we can kind of show you. Let's quickly get something up so we can show you. Let's go to here. So let's say a new moon calendar. Just so you can get a sliver look at what we're talking about here. New moon calendar, I always spell that right word wrong. So, here you go. So, how do you know the new moon? You see? New moon. That's when it's totally gone. Yeah? So as you go back to see the first sliver, when it's totally gone, that's when you're going to get the new moon. Alright? So for instance, the new moon for this month is June the 13th. 2048 it kicks in. So, from sunset on the 13th to sunset the next day is the first day of that month. Yeah? So, this is how you see. We see if we could get another example of the new moon. You know what? Let's see if we get some images. Maybe that'll just give you a little image so you can see again. So you got anyone you can get a new moon calendar. Let's have a look at this. So you would have, see it here. So you got one, what you would call your full moon, 1, 2, 3, boom, and it comes round, right? Bum, 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 and 15th new moon, right? See? Can you see like the first little sliver coming at the side there? New moon day, from sunset to sunset. Yeah. Then see new moon day, but it will be from sunset to sunset. Yeah. Then 7 days. It's even showing you on this calendar, Sabbath. Yeah. So if it appears new moon. So this is the 1% crescent, which is the first sign of the beginning of the month. Yeah. New moon here. All right. And it says new moon day is not part of the 6-day work week. Do not count this day. Yeah. So the new moon day is the Sabbath. Yeah. So would be the first Sabbath, and then every 7 days after, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It says to determine the 7th day Sabbath, as it was done 4,000 years ago, we count the day after the new moon day. All right. So first day of work, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It says according to the. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Okay, because at some point I know they did name their calendar. Okay. So that's how you determine. That's the new moon. You see it, new moon day. 7 days is the Sabbath. All right. So we've got another one I will show you here. Hold on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. That's there. So, but remember, the days go from sunset to sunset. Yeah, that's how we counted the day. Yeah, so this is a new moon day. So you'd go from sunset, new moon. So when the sunset comes on that first day to sunset. 1, 2, first day, second day, third day, fourth day, 5th day, 6th day, 7th day. It's a Sabbath, sunset to sunset, yeah? And that's how it works, yeah? Because remember, it's the sunset which makes the whole day. So, we're gonna, It says, and it shall come to pass from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, says Yahweh. All right. So we're going to go to Amos 8 and 5, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit. Yeah. So the question is asking here in Amos. It says, hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy, even to make the poor of the land to fail. Saying, this is what they were saying, because they wanted to go back. These are like the wicked Israelites that wanted to go back to work. Didn't in a sense wanted the new moon day to go so quick so the Sabbath will be over. So they were saying, when will, listen carefully, right? So it says, hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy, even to make the poor of the land to fail, right? Saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, because it is a day of rest, which makes it a Sabbath, yeah? And the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances of the sea, that we may buy the poor for silver, and the needy for a pair of shoes, yea, and sell the refuse of the wheat. The Lord Yahweh has sworn by his excellency of Jacob, surely I will never forget any of their works, right? So these were some wicked Israelites that were wanted that day to go so quickly, to disappear, for them to be able to get back to their business, sell their wheat, sell their corn, go back into the market, sell their sheep, the lamb, everything they wanted to do. So that's how they were speaking, right? And if you want to look, it says, thus says Yahweh, right? Showed unto me, and behold, a basket of summer fruit. And he said, Amos, what seest thou? And I said, a basket of summer fruit. Then said Yahweh unto me, the end is come upon my people of Israel. I will not again pass by them any more. And the songs of the temple shall be howlings in that day, says Yahweh. There shall be many dead bodies in every place. They shall cast them forth with silence. Hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy, even to make the poor of the land to fail, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn? Because they don't even want to see the day out. Yeah. And the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit. So if that doesn't show it to you quite clearly that the new moon is the beginning of the Sabbath, and then every 7 days after that is the Sabbath, it's showing you right there. The new moon is a day of rest. It might even, if we go in, let's just quickly go in here. Chodesh. The new moon monthly, the first day of the month, the lunar month, right? The new moon, by implication, a monthly new moon. The new moon, the day of the new moon, the calendars of a lunar month, which was a festival of the ancient Hebrews, right? On the third calendar, the third new moon, i.e. the first of the third lunar month. Now shall a new moon devour them, i.e. they shall destroy at the time of the new moon. A lunar month beginning at the new moon, the period of the month, right? So, in the 6th day, just to show you, in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, H2320, the 7th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of great deep broken up and the windows of heaven open. So, as you can see, the word month, H230, right, in Strong's Concordance, is the same for the word new moon. Yeah, that we're in. New moon. Yeah, Kodesh. Yeah, Kodesh, which is new moon. Month, new moon. It's same. It is the same word. Same word. New moon meaning month, meaning the exact same thing. Yeah, the new moon, the day of the new moon, the calendar of a lunar month, which was a festival of the ancient Hebrews. Right. So, if we was to say, I go to quickly cross-reference here. And if we say new moon or month, where are we? Just want to say you can see something. Let's show you something. Where's it going? We're going past it. Oh, sorry, people. Okay, can't actually find what I'm looking for. No dramas. Anyway, so that alone shows you there that the new moon, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat. So it was considered a day of rest, the new moon. It was considered a day of rest. And I'll show you here. Okay. It was considered a day of rest, the new moon. All right. So Isaiah 58:13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, all right, listen carefully, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of Yahweh, honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words, then shalt thou delight thyself in Yahweh, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of Yahweh has spoken it. All right? So, we're going to go to, is it second Ezra's I wanted? It's the 8 and 12. Let me just quickly go to one of these. 1 second, people. Esther 8 and 12. Upon one day in all promises of King Ahasuerus, namely upon the 13th day of the month, which is the month Adar. So it was only when they was under the Babylonian rules when they actually named their month. I just want you to see that, yeah? That's when they named them, yeah? When they was under the captivity on the Babylonians. This is when they named them. 12th month corresponding to the month of March to April, yeah? Because that would be the 12th month, not the... And you see why it says March to April? Because it's dealing with the new moon. So that's when they named their months, when it was under the captivity of the Babylonians then. But that calendar now, with all the named months that they had, was all based on the lunar solar system, on the new moon, yeah? Probably a foreign duration, perhaps meaning fire, right? The 12th of the Hebrew months from the, see, like that says, yeah. The 12th of the Hebrew months from the new moon of March to that of April, according to the rabbis, from the new moon of February to March, yeah? So it says the 6th of the Syro-Macedonian month. The etymology is uncertain. Perhaps this month is so called from the flowers and the trees being so splendidly covered with leaves. All right, this suggesting the derivation is omitted and instead perhaps the thing. So it's got from March to April, according to the rabbis, from the new moon of February to March. Yeah, the 12th month. Yeah, and it is from February to March, the 12th month, because then the first month of the year starts in March. Yeah, of the new moon in March would be the first month of the year. But just to show you that even when they named their calendar, gave their calendar their month of the even when they gave the months of the year a name now, it was all based on the new moon. So all your feast days, your high holy days, all your holy convocations, yeah, all your feast days to the Lord are all based on the new moon. So your Sabbath could not be Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, right? It cannot be the same time every week, because then these high holy days are for your convenience when they're not for our convenience. Therefore, the convenience of the Most High and Yahweh Shai. They're high holy days and feast days that we celebrate and give praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Rakah Kadash. They're not for us. They're for the Most High. So Friday to Saturday has it all set out for you. You know, you're working off of a Georgian calendar. We've already showed you that the Roman calendar was the first one that they had. Yeah. After the Roman calendar, they went to the Roman calendar. Right. They went to what? This one here, the Julian calendar. That's where they moved to next. See, proposed by Julian Caesar in 46 BC, was a reform of the Roman calendar. It took effect on the 1st of January 45 BC by edict. Yeah, so they changed their calendar and their monthly systems. Yeah, it was the predominant calendar in the Roman world, most of Europe, and in European settlements in the Americas and everywhere, until it was refined and gradually replaced by what? The Georgian calendar, which promulgated in 1582 by Pope Gregory the 13th. The Julian calendar gains against the means tropical year and the rate of day, 1 day, 128 years. So then it was replaced by the Georgian calendar in 1582. So the Georgian calendar is the most widely used civil calendar in the world. It is named after Pope Gregory the 13th, was introduced in October 1582. The calendar space leaps years to make the average year 365 and so forth, and then that's the rest of it. I'm just showing you how their system has changed over their time. We use the same system. So even though when we was under captivity, where are you? No. Even though when we was under captivity, under the Babylonians, during the times of Esther, yeah, and the prophets Isaiah and Jeremiah, this is when we gave the names, our months names. But the calendar that we was using was still based on the new moon. Even though we decided, we didn't give the days names. We didn't say this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No, we just gave a month the names based on the time of the year. Just like how it says there. It says, etymology is uncertain. Perhaps this month is so called from the flowers and the trees being so splendidly covered with leaves, because it's the beginning of spring. Yeah, February to March is the beginning of spring. Yeah, so or the end of winter, in a sense. Yeah, so the names of the months were in respect to that time of the year. It represented that time of the year. We didn't change our system to say, okay, now we've got 30 days in this month, 31 days in that month. No, we still use the same system going back to Genesis, when the Most High says, let there be light in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. We're still using that same system based on those two lights. The light for the sun, which knows when we know when sunset is and sunrise is, and the light of the moon, when we know when the new moon is, the beginning of the what? Of the month. So the sun was used to tell us when the beginning of the day was and when the end of the day was. Yeah, in a sense, because it will be from sunrise to sunset. That would be a whole day on a Hebrew calendar. That's what the sun was used to determine what the days are. And then the new moon determined how long the months were. Yeah? So it's not that hard to work out when you actually delve into the scriptures and you see exactly what it's telling you. It's not telling us anything else. It's telling us exactly what it is. From the moon is the sign of the feast, a light that decreases in her perfection. Yeah, it says the month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament. All right. So Leviticus tells you that 6 days shall thou work. So those 6 days are based on when the new moon is, brings in the first day. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest and a holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. So we knew when the 6th day was and the 7th day was and when the 15th day was and when the 14th day was, based on the new moon. Not based on January, February, March, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's quite clearly showing you this in the scriptures. 2 Colossians says again, let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of holy day or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days. Because the Sabbath days are based on the new moon, people. So is the Passover. So is the blowing of the trumpets. Yeah. So is the Day of Atonement. So is Purim. They're all based on the new moon. All right. That was telling you about the month. And it shall come to pass from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another shall all flesh come to worship before me, says Yahweh. So the Most High is telling you again in Isaiah, from one new moon to another, from one month to another, from one Sabbath to another, because the Sabbath are based on the new moon, shall all flesh come to worship him. And that's going to happen in the kingdom. Everybody's going to down tools on the Sabbath, on new moon day and the Sabbaths. Everybody on this planet is going to down tools. So we go back to Amos 8 and 5. It says, saying, when will the new moon be gone that we may sell corn? So they understood. They knew. They're telling you right there. They want it to go so they can go out because they know that it's a day of rest. And the Sabbath day that we may set forth wheat. making the ephod small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit. So they're looking to make money, not to give service and praises to the Most High on the Sabbath day and the new moon. They want it to end quickly so they can go out there and make some more shekels. Isaiah 58:3, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of Yahweh honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thy own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words, then shalt thou delight thyself in Yahweh, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high place of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of Yahweh has spoken it. So, on that note, I can say no more. The new moon, your high holy days, your feast days, your blowing of the trumpets, our Purim, everything that we do in terms of celebration, all the high holy feasts are all based on the new moon. And the scriptures are quite clear in telling you that. So on that note, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rikah, Kadash, Tawada, Amen. Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai.